Live from the Dunkin' Donuts Iced Coffee Lounge.
All right, so this is the cast of Waitress, the musical on Broadway. You guys pull up a mic?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. This is Drew Gailing.
Hi, guys.
And Caitlin Houlihan.
Hello.
Maia Nakaj Wilson.
Hi, Maia Nakenji Wilson, but you can just say Maia.
Nakenji, my handwriting gets a little rough. I'm sorry.
Maia Nakenji Wilson.
They're absolutely fabulous in the show. Can you guys explain, just give us a rundown as to what the show is about besides being beautiful and touching and romantic and all those things?
Go for it, Caitlin. Take it.
Oh, Caitlin, it's all you.
I like you to be the spokesperson right now. Go.
All right, well, the whole show is kind of about this woman who works in a pie shop. She bakes these pies every day. They all have very strange names. It's things that she used to bake with her mother. And then things get a little more complicated, and you realize that she is in a somewhat abusive relationship. And then she meets a doctor because she becomes pregnant. Is this a good
This is
start?
going well. This is going well.
But the doctor's not the one who gets her pregnant.
No,
Oh, God,
sorry.
no. What is wrong with you? No, that's a terrible thing. No.
Just saying.
We do end up making out, though.
Spoiler.
The morals are fluid.
Is that your favorite part of the show, by the way?
But you know what? Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
just
Let's talk
call it
about
yes.
why we go into theater.
I think it's
you
everyone's
know.
favorite part of the show.
It is.
Everyone being me. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Back
Yeah,
to
there are and then there are a lot of other characters as well the story kind of revolves around her, but she also has a great friendship with two other waitresses that she works with. Maia plays a character named Becky, and I play a character named Dawn, and we kind of have our own stories as well with some other characters, so it throws in a little bit of flavor here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, there's a lot of romance happening
there's
here.
a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of storylines
Yeah, it's
happening.
All right.
Yeah.
So, do you have a number for us? Do you know what we're going to do
Oh, yeah.
first?
Well, okay, so I'll introduce you.
Oh,
Okay, so the first number in the show is sung by the character Dawn about how scary it is to meet someone, because what if that thing turns out to be awesome, which I think is a really cool idea, and like what Sara as a writer does really well is capture a character's thoughts and feelings just perfectly. And with this song, I think it turns like a very, very familiar idea completely on its head, which is this character kind of lives to do anyway.
Yeah, I feel like it's something that a lot of people have a feeling inside of them like this at some point in their lives.
How does it feel for you, to be able to perform these songs?
Oh my gosh. I mean, Sara writes songs so well and in such incredible range. It's like a dream to as someone who I do a lot of character acting and a lot of character songs, and most songs that are written for characters are usually typically for people who are more actors than singers, and so they don't have a large range, and kind of there are a lot of patter songs, and this is the first patter song that I've really come across that not only is the acting completely built into it, because it's something that everyone has experienced, in some form, but I also get to show off a range that you don't typically get to do when you're singing songs like that. So she just knows how to write kind of like a perfectly crafted song for each character.
Yeah, she's incredible. So, we had some questions here. Your path to Broadway. This has got to be a dream come true. What led you to Waitress, the musical? Drew, I guess I'm looking at you. So,
Well, it's
Get
actually really funny that you asked that, because the first Broadway show that it's really because we were all just talking about this back there. But the first Broadway show that I ever saw was Rent, and I saw Maia in Rent. In my first Broadway show that I ever saw, I was coming to New York City to audition for college, so I went to school. Do you mean like Broadway in general, or like specifically this show?
I say, let's take it back to babyhood.
Let's go to Babyhood.
Yeah.
Babyhood's good.
But Broadway in general, your Broadway, yeah.
So I went to college in Pittsburgh at Carnegie Mellon University and graduated in 2000 something, and moved to the city, and kind of just through Regular channels, just always was auditioning and taking class and working wherever I could and however I could. And sometimes that leads you to a Broadway show, which is always really exciting. So my Broadway debut was in Jersey Boys, the musical, which I did for several years, on the road in Chicago, in San Francisco, and eventually on Broadway. And it was, it's a real skill set to learn how to do a show, the same thing every night, which because you think like, oh, it's so fresh and so new all the time. And sometimes it is, and sometimes it's Thursday. And so doing a show like that where the audience is just so excited to be there and excited to see the show and be a part of it, it teaches you the value of how exciting it every night is for an audience. And for us too, we get jazzed every single time we get on stage to do this play.
Yeah,
we're so lucky.
Yeah, it is wonderful. I mean, we can see the audience here, and I'm sure when you're on stage you don't get to see everybody, but it's wonderful to
if you
see
guys
your
on
reaction.
the cameras could see them, they're losing their minds right
They're
now.
really, really
All of
happy.
them.
Really happy. So Maya, you did Rent on Broadway. Oh yeah, that's pretty amazing. What brought you here?
Yeah, that was my first Broadway show, and a little trivia for me. My debut, I was 7 months pregnant with my now 16-year-old daughter. Yeah, she shared that experience with me. But yeah, what led me here is interesting. I was more dreaming of Grammy Awards than Tony Awards. I went to school for music and, did one play in high school and maybe a one-act play in college because they needed music, a one-act play with music. So they went over to the music department and was like, can we get some singers to do this? So I was like, I kind of fell into this because in that last year in college, the drama department chair said, hey, they're auditioning for Rent. They're doing open calls. Why don't you do it? And I was like, So anyway, we just threw a picture together. She threw together a resume. I went to that audition and sang over the high C, which what I was supposed, it wasn't too pretty. And and when they were like, and let's do the Joanne stuff, I was like, mm-mm. And they were like, okay, good, thank you, bye-bye. So needless to say, I worked in an office as an office manager after college for about a year, and then I got a call to audition again. And after a series of auditions in New York and a lot of expensive parking, I went on tour with Rent, and it was awesome. Going to Japan, touring all over United States. It was an awesome, because for that to be your first experience, and Rent fans creating websites for you, and you're in the ensemble. But they love you so much. They're standing in line. It was just an amazing era. And then, so that was just great for me to start off there. And then I started having more experiences with other Broadway shows. And here I am.
Wow, that's incredible. We're glad you're here today.
Thank you.
And Caitlin, we didn't get your story.
Yes. So we were just talking about this in the back room. I grew up doing a little bit of theater, but nothing to a great extent. It was never something that I thought, oh, I'm gonna do that someday. And so I knew that I loved music. I grew up playing trumpet in the marching band, which was like a big passion of mine. And I also loved to sing, so I did choir and I did band. And I decided I want to do something in music, but a part of me was like, I also want to do something that's realistic, that I'll definitely get a job in. And I ended up going to Baldwin Wallace University in Cleveland for music therapy. And I did that for 2 years. And then Baldwin Wallace has an incredible music theater program, and I was friends with a lot of the people that were in that program. And I remember going to their shows and thinking, I think I can do that. And so after 2 years of music therapy, I decided I'm going to audition. I didn't tell anyone because I was too scared that I would be rejected and that I didn't want everyone to know I was rejected. So I didn't tell anyone, and I auditioned, and I got in. And then I had the conversation with my parents of I'm switching my major to music theater, and they were like, "Okay, honey." I was like, "I'm gonna do an extra year of school," and thank God I did, because somehow I ended up here. This is my first Broadway show. And it was something that I saw in previews because I was so excited about it. I was a huge Sara fan. And I remember watching the original girl who played Dawn, Kumiko Glenn, and just thinking, I love this part and I want to play it someday. And then 6 months later, I got an appointment and I was like, this is it. And then it happened, and I don't really know how, but I'm here, so.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your stories. It's definitely inspiring. So it's cute because one of the questions that we had for you today is, if you could switch roles for one performance, what role would it be? Did you just get to do that?
It was nice to sing a song for people that I usually just sing along with backstage. But this is funny you ask because I actually would totally play Dr. Pomander.
Oh.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, totally. Such a fun part.
How about for you?
No, it's funny because I would either play Dawn, obviously, or Old Joe, who's the guy that owns the pie shop. In the movie, it's Andy Griffith, and originally with us it was Dakin Matthews, and now it's this wonderful actor named Larry Marshall, who's the original Simon Zealots in the movie of Jesus Christ Superstar. He's also done about 1 billion Broadway shows. We're obsessed with him at work. I'm like his biggest fan. I plug him for everything. I'm his agent. But I would totally want to play Old Joe because he sings this great song to Jenna about just giving life advice. He really acts as a father figure for her, and I find that really endearing and exciting in the show.
That is a beautiful moment in the show. Yes. Maya, how about you?
Yeah, I guess I would be Ogie, maybe, which is a crazy, fun character in the show. I think I love how Chris Fitzgerald is who plays it right now. He and originally, right? Yeah, and he's just so great, and I love improv and stuff. And I feel like he has all that room and freedom to kind of do that, and he does it so well, you know. So I think Ogie is a fun little crazy character that I would love to do.
All right. Yeah. One day if you switch, we'll show up. You know, just to see how that goes. With you playing the doctor, that would be fantastic. Yeah, we would do that. She's a little shorter than you, but you guys can work it out, costume-wise and everything. I hope so. Had you seen the movie Waitress before you got involved with the show?
No, actually, I have still not watched the thing all the way through. No, it's a lie. No, I had never seen it. It was one of those things where I've watched certain parts of it. I would watch certain parts of it to kind of get a feel for what what certain intentions and moments and scenes would be. But when we were working on it out of town, when it's a brand new show, it was actually, I realized it was going to be in our favor to not too closely try to imitate the source material. Because it's a box that you can get like shut in pretty quickly. So it wasn't until after we were done at ART that I watched Adrian's beautiful film and realized that we were a part of something really special.
And how about for you?
Well, I'll say yes. I definitely saw Waitress. While I was doing The Color Purple, one of the cast members and I went and saw Waitress in between shows when it was out. And I remember saying, I've got to see this again. And I ran and saw it again by myself. I just really loved that movie. And I just feel like it's so funny and it's so fitting that I would have been hired. This is my 6th Broadway show, and I've done a lot of movies to Broadway. Shrek, 9 to 5, The Color Purple. I mean, I just am a movie to Broadway kind of girl. But yeah, I love the movie, and I was very grateful to be able to be a part of this because the story is so delicious. It's so lovely.
How about for you, Caitlin? Did you see it?
Yeah, I had seen parts of it a while back before I auditioned for it, but then after it was clear that it was something that I should definitely watch because Adrian Shelley, who wrote, directed, and starred in the movie, played the character Dawn. And so I definitely wanted to, you don't want to fall into the trap of being exactly like someone else, but you definitely, especially with Adrian, because we try to honor her every night because she died in a tragic accident a little over 10 years ago. So I wanted to capture the spirit of her and her Dawn because clearly that was what her intention was. So
you definitely do that. You do. All right, so time for one last question before we get another song out of you. We've been raving about Sara Bareilles. I know we love the lyrics. How was your experience working with her?
I mean, you should lead off on this because you just did the show with her.
She is one of the greats. Like, she is, her beauty runs just through her whole body, and she is a shining light of happiness and beautifulness and kindness and just gratitude for she's had this incredible career that just continues to go up, up, up. And to watch her and the way that she treats everyone. When she left, she did something for every person in the building, whether they worked the front of house, whether they were, the crew members, the cast members, the people who worked the front door. Like, she made sure that everyone in the theater made sure to make them feel really important and to thank them for all of the work that they do. And that's just not something that you see all the time. And so I just feel really blessed that I got to work with her, because now I can call her a friend, and, she's incredible. Yeah.
She's everything we hoped she would be.
Everything, everything.
Yes. So anything else to add? Yeah, you did. You summed it up so beautifully. Yeah, and I know she's so wonderful with her fans, because we've had the opportunity to interview her, and she's just so kind and giving and appreciative. So she's a person you can tweet to or talk to, and she'll answer you back, and she'll take it all in and appreciate it greatly. So what is that, Mitch? What? Sound engineer Mitch says, okay, so we have our last song ready to go?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Okay, we do.
Beautiful Maya is going to sing
Yay.
her excellent second act opening song.
Oh, okay, Maya needs
She's
a
getting
little
some
water.
So,
So in
the
the
first
meantime,
time Caitlin and I met, wait, oh no, we were gonna, okay, so what's your favorite Sara Bareilles song?
Oh, it would definitely either be Breathe Again
Yeah.
or Cassiopeia, which at the beginning of our show, there's a little sampling where Sara comes over the theater and she sings about turning off your cell phone, and the opening music to that is the same music of Cassiopeia, and I love that.
That's a good song.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And usually when she does it live, she has like these huge cymbals, and so she's just singing, and then she's like, so.
Yeah, she's amazing.
the cast of Waitress, the musical on Broadway. Where can we get our tickets? Just give us a little plug for tickets.
Okay, go to Waitress the Musical, at Waitress the Musical, telecharge.com, Broadway.com. There are tickets available everywhere. Or come to the box office at the Brooks Atkinson Theater on 47th Street.
I think they're running a buy one ticket, get one ticket for $10. I don't know if that's something that you can do online or go to the box office, but usually if you go to the box office, you can do both. You can go online or you can go to the box office and you can get that deal. So
Awesome.
Yes.
All right, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. This has been incredible. Thank you for coming out to the Dunkin' Donuts Iced Coffee Lounge. Hopefully I'll see you on the radio tomorrow. I'm Christine from Light FM. Thank you, guys.
Live from the Dunkin' Donuts Iced Coffee Lounge.